Yeah,
Oh,
I was so glad to have you on here.
thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Good. So you're in Slovenia, right?
I'm in Slovenia. I'm from Slovenia. Yes.
And so you are the first person I've ever talked to in Slovenia.
Well, somebody has to be the first.
Right. Congratulations. Hell yeah,
Congratulations to you for having us.
yeah, that's awesome.
Did you did you have to open up the map to find where we are?
I actually did. Yes. I really did. Yeah, after I chatted with you and you told me you were in Slovenia because I thought from your Instagram you were in the UK. And so I was trying to figure out the time difference. And then when I scrolled down on your Instagram and I saw I think it was one of your first pictures on there where you're in a bikini on, like, in the snow.
Yeah,
And
I was on vacation.
I said, that makes me cold just looking at it.
Yeah, I went on holiday to Norway, to Tromsø, so the north of the Norway.
Yeah.
It was end of October, beginning of November, so it was quite cold, minus 16 degrees Celsius outside.
Whew. Oh my God. And you were out there in a bikini.
I was out there in bikini. I just went out of sauna directly into snow.
Oh God. Oh yeah. Okay. So like one of those therapy, like
Yeah,
skin therapy. It's supposed to be good for your skin. Yeah.
and your heart as well. So,
Uh. Okay.
yeah.
Right. That's cool. Yeah. I used to be able to handle the cold a lot better because I actually grew up in a cold environment. Um. So in America, Cleveland, Ohio is
Yeah.
up by Michigan, by Lake Erie, and I live in South Carolina now, which is hot. And so I grew up in the cold. So when I saw that picture, I was like, "Oh no, 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 I don't, I don't want any snow."
I know, I love snow. It's the beginning of winter season here, so it started snowing slowly, and I hope it's gonna be a white Christmas this year.
Yeah, that is really nice. Having the white Christmas, it's special.
Yeah, do you get a white Christmas,
No,
Annika? You don't? Oh,
no, and see, I've talked with a lot of people on this podcast where they grew up in a cold state, and here in America or wherever, and then they moved to a hot place like we did, and it's one of those things that you never get used to when it's Christmas time and you don't have snow. It just feels weird.
yeah. The climate has changed a lot. When I was a wee kid, we had a lot of snow. Every Christmas was about up to my knees or higher. And the past couple of years, we just had rain and cold.
Oh gosh.
So I hope
Yeah.
that changes this year.
Right. Okay. So now do you go skiing, or do you like winter sports?
Oh, I am a big winter sucker. I love snow. But sadly, no, I don't go skiing much. I know how to ski. I just don't go much, just because, prices.
Right.
Yeah, because I do live in the Alps, so we have a lot of mountains around.
Oh, okay.
Um, a lot of skiing places, especially if you go up north to Austria. But it's one of those sports, you have to have money to afford it.
I'm sure. Yeah, in fact, the when you and I were chatting, setting this podcast up, I sent you a link to a video where the girl I talked to, she is actually in Austria.
Yeah.
Her call sign or whatever is Senity, and I was asking her about the weather there, because some of her posts look like, with snow and all that, and I was like,
Like, Austria is on the other side of the Alps, so we
okay,
keep making a joke that we're on the sunny side, and they're not.
oh,
So
okay,
the weather is a bit colder, a bit windier, less sun. We have
oh
more
yeah,
sun here.
okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
it's
Yeah,
warmer.
I don't know anything about Slovenia. I know, so when I looked up on the map, I was like, I wonder if, like, if you guys have your own language. So when you grew up, It's Slovene, right? Is what the language is?
Yeah, Slovene. I am bilingual, so I grew up speaking Slovenian and Croatian.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a lot of people here are descendant from the ex-country of Yugoslavia,
Yeah.
so speaking two languages is normal here. But then most of us, or all of us, speak English as well.
Yeah.
It's a second language in school that is mandatory. So, um, but yeah, we speak Slovenian. We're proud Slovenians.
Yeah, sure. That I mean, that's good. It's always good to be proud of your, your heritage, where you grew up, what country you're in, kind of like rooting for the home team. That's good.
Exactly.
Yeah. I wish America would make that more of a standard, like in our schooling system, to teach multiple languages, because to learn it as a child would be so much easier. And they don't make a priority on it. We don't even get, I think they're starting to do it now, like in the last handful of years, where they're introducing different languages in elementary school, like the younger grades. But
Yeah,
when I went to school, you didn't, it was only English until, like, there wasn't a language option until you went to high school. And so that's like, from like the time you're 16 until, or maybe 15 until . Or whatever. So it was very, just, and by the way, when you did choose those language classes in high school, they weren't serious. Like, you would take Spanish, like most people took Spanish, and it wasn't required either. And so we would take Spanish, and you would graduate that class with, not even knowing what to say. Like, how any, like, you would know like three words, hola and cerveza, because we all thought it was cool to say beer in Spanish, and your name, right? My name's Eric. So Enrique was what my name in the class was, and that was like the only three words we all knew. Oh yeah.
yeah. I had 8 years of German, and I think
Wow.
I can introduce myself and ask for a beer, and that's about it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's the same here. When you choose a language and it's not mandatory, you just don't learn it in high
Right.
school or in primary school because you don't take it seriously.
Uh-uh. Not at all. Well, yeah, I think back then too, I mean, when I was going to school, there was no internet, things like that. So we didn't really understand the importance of, you know, different languages throughout the world. Like, your world is so small when you don't have the reach of the internet like we do now.
Yeah.
Like this, you and I are talking here. You're in Slovenia. I'm in America, in South Carolina. Um, it's crazy. So this would have never happened, back in the 80s.
No, no, definitely. Kids nowadays don't realize how privileged they are. They get all the information they want. They just need to, reach out to their phones and search.
Yeah.
I think that's also why a lot of kids nowadays speak English quite well compared to older generations in countries where English is not a first language.
Right.
So a lot of education happens outside of school now. School's not important anymore as
Yeah.
much.
Right. That's true. Well, one of the guys I had on here, I actually talked to him a couple times on here. He speaks. He is in Europe, and gosh, I can't remember what country he's in. But anyway, uh, he spoke really, really good English, like yourself, with very little accent. Yeah, you speak very, very good English. So, and I was asking him, when he grew up, did he take classes, whatever? And he's like, no, I learned to speak English through playing video games. So on the headset, all his friends were, he was playing with were in America, and he just learned through listening and would try, would practice. I said, "Oh my God, that's crazy."
It's the same with me. I think I spoke English quite well when I was a kid, but in the past couple of years when I started gaming, and most of my mates are from UK. So my English has just gotten better and better day by day.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of people started speaking second language when playing video games, and that's
Hmm.
awesome.
It is. Well,
It's
I guess if you're smart or you can learn, if you want to learn it. I spent a year in Japan, uh,
really.
and I didn't. I only learned like 2 words.
I've just started learning Japanese. It's a language I really want to learn, so I hope that next year this time I'm going to be speaking at least a bit more fluently than I am.
Yeah, that would
It's
be
a
cool.
fascinating language. It's a fascinating language.
Yeah, well, it's becoming popular too now because of all the anime stuff.
Exactly. I think most of us that want to learn Japanese is either because of anime or just appreciating their culture,
Right.
because they have something else that I don't think any other country on this planet has. And it's beautiful. They keep tradition, but they don't keep just tradition. They have gone on and have transformed that tradition into something modern, and it's beautiful.
Mm, yeah. Well, one of the things that really stood out to me when I went over there, and this is a time I went over there in 1990 when I was in the military, so I had no clue what to expect. I didn't know really anything about it, and so when I got there, one of the things that really stood out was the culture. Like everyone was very, very respectful. Respect was a very big deal. Um, and so, and that was like good manners. Uh, they just had a lot of good character in what they believed in, so it was really, it was nice. It was nice to see.
They their culture is completely different than ours, and I guess Americans as well, because they're not so about themselves. They're about the entire popularity. They always look out for other people instead of just themselves. So
Hmm.
that's something that makes their country beautiful for foreigners.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely. So so what games do you play? What's your, you said you were gaming. What do you like to game?
I started with Counter Strike.
Oh shit, yeah.
Uh, it was Counter Strike Source back then.
Nice.
Yo. um, in the past couple of months, I kind of stopped. Because I moved and my internet here is really bad, so I just been playing League of Legends mostly.
Okay.
I did play quite a lot of Counter Strike Global Elite and what else? Valorant mostly in the past couple of years since it came out. But yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Yeah, I play a wide variety of games as well. Well, I used to, I guess. I don't play as many different games as I used to. I kind of got burned out on Halo, Call of Duty, that kind of stuff, and then I went to recently. I've been playing Division Two. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So uh,
Mostly
I
FPS games.
yeah, mostly FPS, and I just don't. I think as I got older, I don't have the reflexes to play Call of Duty, uh, or at least have fun playing it. I can play it, but I don't last long. So
It's the focus that kills you, I swear.
uh, I'm like, I thought I was. Oh, it's too slow. I can't. My fingers don't work. Okay.
You need a new keyboard and a new mouse. It's gonna be
uh,
fine.
well, listen, I play on the Xbox, so I used to be a
Oh,
PC gamer years ago, and I tried to go back to PC gaming within the last 2 years, and I get it's so uncomfortable trying to hold my hands in the right spots for the keys, for that long of a period, for that long. Yeah, but the mouse. using a keyboard and mouse for, especially the mouse for first person shooters is way faster than a controller.
Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely is. Because you have to just do one click with the controller. You have to do all the fingers, and it's complicated. It's a PC master race.
Right? Oh
I've
yeah.
never been fond of Xboxes or PlayStations. I just can't do that.
Oh
I've,
yeah.
I've this is my pose.
We so when I was a PC gamer for years. After I got in the military, I built my own PC to game with a bunch of friends of mine, and we would actually do LAN parties where we would bring our whole computer, our big towers and our big monitors. Back then, this is like 1995, 96, and so we didn't have the monitors that we have today that are real thin. We had the CRT monitors that were, really heavy, and they're really deep. Like you look at them from the side, they're like 2 feet wide, and they're,
I mean, say,
yeah, very hard to carry. And but we used to do the LAN parties, and we would play the original Counter Strike on PC, Unreal Tournament, and then Quake. So it was, that was how I played forever. And then one of my buddies that was a PC gamer with us, I went to his house for a cookout, and I walked in, and he's playing on his TV, playing a game, and this thing was great looking. It was so many different colors, and the music behind it. And I said, "What, bro? What is this?" Uh, and he goes, "Oh, it's a new game that just came out on this new system. It's called Halo." And I said, "What is that?" So it was the original Halo on the original Xbox. And I had never heard of an Xbox, never saw it until I went to his house, and he got it like the first month it came out. And so, like the next week, I went and got an Xbox, and I've been playing on that most of the time ever since.
we've been playing Xbox for quite a while now.
Oh,
My entire
listen, honey, I'm
lifetime.
old.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine having a monitor that big. I don't know where I'd put it. My table is quite small.
Oh, what we had to do was, so the way that we set them up, we would do we you couldn't put them in the middle of a desk the way you do now. We always had to put them in a corner. So if you had one of those, typical computer desks that was flat, like if you didn't, because if you bought those computer desks that were made for sitting in a corner, they're a lot more expensive. But if you buy the basic one that's just flat, a rectangle, so and you try to put it against the wall, the monitor won't fit. It's about to fall off the front. So what we do is you buy one of those cheap computer tables, put it in the corner, like it didn't fit right, it looked weird, but you had enough room where the back end of your monitor would fit all the way back. You know what I mean? So that's how we had to set them up.
So you
They
either
were,
had to have neck pain or sit sideways.
I know. Well, listen,
The
we went.
struggle.
Well, one of the tournaments we used to do tournaments, these land parties, and one of the tournaments we did was we did 12 hours straight. Okay, we went from uh, no, it was overnight. It was actually overnight. But anyway, it was a lot of hours. I can't remember how many hours we went, but we just went until we finished the tournament, which went through the night. So we got there at my buddy's place. We all brought our computers, and there was like 15 of us, maybe 20 of us, and we got everything set up, and we were doing an Unreal uh, tournament, and we so everything got set up, and then we had a leaderboard and everything, right? Like one of our buddies brought a whiteboard and was writing, who's next and who. I mean, we were serious, okay? So we played this thing for hours and hours, and I mean, we're this close to the computer screen, like intense playing, when it's our turn to play. And this is back when I think this was about 1998 maybe, and there was a an energy drink back then called Balls, BAWLS, and
I just wanted to ask you how many energy drinks were consumed that day, because playing for more than a few hours straight takes a lot of energy.
oh, listen, and you know what? What would back then? I don't know. You know what ephedra? Have you heard of ephedra? So
No.
ephedra is like methamphetamine, right?
Yeah.
You know how they say amphetamine. So
Yeah.
ephedra is one of the original like speed drugs. Back in the day, we used to have speed, a little white pill or whatever, and so ephedra was the base chemical for these amphetamine type of drugs. Well, this energy drink called Balls, it actually had ephedra in it because it wasn't illegal at the time. So we're jacked up on speed the whole time, like the whole night. Well, the next day we get done with the tournament, and I mean, half of us are like one of our eyes. You couldn't see the whites of our eyes because we had so many blood vessels broken. We looked like a zombie. Like the whole white of your eye was red, and I mean, we were serious. Okay.
That is quite crazy.
Oh,
I couldn't have lasted that long playing games. We had a couple of LAN parties with my mates, but oh my god, by 2 in the morning I was done.
well, you know what's crazy too is when we do this stuff, and this happens nowadays too. With people getting into games and stuff. There, we go that hard on gaming, and there's nothing to show for it. All it is bragging rights to your friends. Like, yeah, I beat
That
you. That's it.
counts. That
Oh,
counts.
it does. It really
That's the
does.
most important thing.
I know, right? Oh yeah.
I'd take bragging rights over any money prize.
Oh, for sure, right? I mean, character, respect, those are important things.
Especially if the person is a sore loser. Makes it more fun.
Oh, of course. And that's the thing too, like having a winner and a loser, like losing is good for us sometimes. It makes us want to be better,
It keeps you pushing forward.
for sure. That is
And
that's part of it.
it's the same in all the sports, not just gaming. So without losing, sometimes you just get your ego pumped up, and
Yeah.
you'd get stuck sooner or later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. And airsoft, same way. I've heard of these fields where they don't like to declare a winner in
Yeah,
some of their games. And I thought, and now this is kind of new to me. I just found this out like not long ago,
it's a
just
new thing.
through talking with people. And I thought, why? Why would you do that?
Yeah, it's the modern way of teaching kids that they're all equal. When in reality, you can't have every single person be just as equal or the same. We're different. That's what makes it beautiful. That's
Right.
what makes that what you have to be unique. If we will all be the same, it would be boring. So
For sure.
having to kids learn that they're all the same and nobody's gonna win and nobody's gonna lose, and then one day they grow up and they hit reality, and hearts are gonna get broken.
For sure. Like that is what, it's okay to be different. It's okay to recognize that we're not equal. Like we're really not. Like some people are born with really good talent for athletics. Like they're just built, they're however their body is built, in their DNA or whatever combination of things that happen for them to be, built from the ground up. They are
Yeah,
more apt for athletics. That's just, that's the way of that's biology. We can't help that. And
yeah,
it's okay to recognize these differences, that kind of thing. So yeah, we're not equal. There is a winner and a loser. There is like we just have to find what our thing is. Like
Yeah.
what is my purpose? What am I good at? What am I, I might not be good at basketball, and I never was. Um, so, well, what if I'm better at something else, that's we just have to find what we're good at. But yeah, the game when it comes to a sport, that competition is really, really good for us. Well, you can't have competition if well, there's no winner or loser in the end.
Yeah, it just makes everything so phlegmatic.
Right.
You have to have somebody that's gonna win just to have that competition going on. The competition makes improvements.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
healthy amount of competition.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Yeah, the ones, that the competition where the people that are doing better, they're doing better because they're challenging themselves to get better instead of the bad competition, which is I'm going to push somebody else down to get where recognized more or whatever. That's the
Yeah,
shitty part.
definitely is. And you have to have people, kids especially, because if you say to somebody, to a child, to a group of kids, you're gonna play this, you're gonna have to do your best, but it won't matter. Then you won't have kids try hard. You won't have kids discovering if they like it or not, just because they won't care. And you lose on talents. You lose on that maybe one child that could be a prodigy in that specific field, and he's never gonna know it, and he's never
Yeah.
gonna focus his talents into that direction. And that's what I'm afraid that's going to happen in the next generations based on what's going on in schools
Yeah.
and kindergartens and in parenting as well. It's not all just schools. A lot of it, it's parents'
Right.
fault for not stopping schools doing that.
Agreed. I agree. Yeah, that is that all that stuff starts with the parents. And that's
Yeah,
I feel like parents have gotten really lazy. Um, Instead of using technology like tablets, phones, all the things all the content that's out there like YouTube or whatever, instead of using that as a tool to help them teach their kids certain things, they use it as a babysitter. They use it
yeah,
to push their kids out of their way so that they can just, do what they want to do instead of taking the time as a parent to spend with their children and say and teach them from a young age, like how about teaching them good manners, good manners is a great thing to teach because it teaches you about respect about yourself and about somebody else. And and so and there's a lot of kids that are, these 10, 12, 14-year-old kids that honestly don't know even just the basic one that I'm sure you were taught as well. Like when your parents are having a conversation, you don't interrupt them, right? You wait
yeah.
till they're done speaking. And there's a lot of teenagers that they don't do that. They don't know that rule.
No, it's the young generations. I think that they're becoming high schoolers now. They don't respect anything or anyone. They think that the world, evolves around them. It's all about them and nothing else. And they think that the world owes them something. When
Hmm.
in reality, you have to get it yourself if you want it. And
Yeah.
it's just because the parents always gave them everything they could. Because they taught them that material things are worth more than time and quality time.
Yep.
And it's the same as you were saying before, the tablets and phones and everything. You have so many good educational things going on internet for kids starting age 1 and up, and yet parents decide to put them on Peppa the Pig or something like that, just get them away. And it's one of the dumbest, I'm sorry, but it's one of the dumbest cartoons ever made. And I grew up watching Cartoon Network. Ed and Eddie seems quite good compared to that right now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Peppa the Pig. I'm laughing because I've seen that and I've watched that cartoon before. I'm going, what? I don't get it.
Having a conversation with one of my mates. She's a mom now. She's got a baby, and she's forced to watch cartoons all the damn time.
Right.
And she has been saying that there are some cartoons that are okay, they're short, educational. They teach kids to, respect things. They teach kids about colors, and depends on the age appropriate for the cartoon appropriate for the age. But Peppa the Pig is one of those cartoons that in the beginning they teach you something bad, and then you have 30 minutes of something going on, and then at the end they say that thing is bad, and kids under the age of 6 or maybe even older are going to be watching it, and they're not going to connect the first and the last part of the cartoon. It's going to be two separate things for them. So what they're going to do, they're going to learn that the bad thing is something they can do and get away with, and then the rest of it is just fun thing. And then when at the end Papa Pig says that that thing was bad, you shouldn't have done that, the kids won't connect it because their attention span is too short.
Uh-huh.
So it's one of those cartoons that as an adult you get it. You get that he's getting scolded for what he did, what she did. But as a kid, you're just gonna be, oh look, she hit her dad and nothing happened. And it's something that kids, age 10 now or 12 maybe, grew up with. So that's one of the reasons why they're the way they are. Because parents push them away, go watch Peppa Pig. They learn that from the cartoon. Nobody told them it's wrong. And it's just the entire generation of kids that, think differently than we do.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I always laugh when a parent says, "Well, I didn't teach them that," and I said, I'm thinking, well, kids are learning all the time. They're either going to learn from you, or if you're not willing to spend time with them and teach them, they're going to learn from something or someone. So
Yeah.
they're constantly looking to learn. That's what we're programmed to do. They observe, and that's how they learn. Is they watch what's happening, and they understand a lot at a very young age. So I think a lot of parents baby their kids for so long. They think, oh, they don't know any of that. I'm like, yeah, they do. Look at a 3-year-old.
My internet's been okay. I hope my internet's not gonna die.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I think it's fine. No, but as you say, they say I didn't teach him that. And then, but did you teach your child that it's not okay?
Mm-hmm.
You have to teach them one thing or another.
Right.
And a lot of parents just don't care about teaching them anything.
Yeah.
So kids just don't know. They see and they do what they saw. Because nobody told them. Because kids are really smart. If you tell them one thing, they're gonna know. And if you tell them this is not okay to do, they're gonna know it. And if they keep
Right.
doing it, it's just testing parents, pushing limits. Because
Yep.
we all did it. It's
Yeah.
up to parents or adults or supervisors or whoever's taking care of the child to teach them where the boundaries are
Right.
and keep
Well,
our
we need
behavior.
boundaries.
Yeah, we need
Yeah, it's
boundaries.
for sure. And that's a natural thing, even as adults. When you drive down a road, like here in South Carolina, we have a lot of back roads, like country roads, they call them. And a lot of these back roads won't have the lines, painted on them.
Yeah,
So you have the line in the middle. On typical roads, you have the line in the middle, and then the lines on the side that show the edge, right? When you drive down these country roads, when you're used to driving on these main roads with all the lines, you turn down a country road where there's no lines, and another car's coming towards you. Everyone slows down a little bit, like it's a little like you don't know the boundaries, so it kind of makes you a little insecure almost. And this is a part of human nature. Like we really like to know where the limits are, where the rules are, how things work. I remember reading this book years ago when I was studying, like just on my own, studying like psychology. And they did a study with children at playgrounds where, like at the schools, the playgrounds that had the whole playground was fenced in, the kids played in the whole playground, like all the way up to the fence. The playgrounds that had no fence, they stayed huddled together in the middle. They didn't like explore out to other areas because it made them feel a little like, oh, we don't know where the boundary is.
yeah, they felt unsafe, and it's natural. It's
Yeah.
natural. You have to explore, though. You have to explore because it might be unsafe to do it with like with a group of kids in a kindergarten, but you have to let them explore as well. Because if you put them in a box, they're never gonna know what's outside the box, and they're never gonna learn where the boundaries are because they already know it.
Yeah.
You have to let them test a bit. We all learned that fire is hot by touching the fire at some point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. I let when our kids were little, I'd be cooking on the barbecue on the grill, and they were 4 or 5, and they would start putting their finger up there, and I'd move their hand away. Hey, no, that's hot. And after like the third time, I would let them touch it, and they would just touch it with their finger. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to let them put their hand on it, but
Yeah.
they would touch it with their finger, and they'd cry. They'd get a little blister, and they never touched it again their whole life. Like they understood that lesson very, very
Yeah.
quickly that lasted a lifetime. And I've said this before on the podcast, and this is not something that I made up, but pain is the ultimate teacher. It really is. Whether it's emotional pain or physical pain or financial pain, which, you learn very quickly. Some people learn faster than others, and some people have to be hit in the head with something to learn. You know what I mean? Like it takes them a lot.
It's the same as in airsoft. As a beginner, I got there. Nobody told me anything. They were just like, "Here's the glasses. Here's the helmet. Here's the gun. Go." I
Yeah.
got I think I got M4, a rifle for the first time I was playing. I borrowed it and I was like, "Go play. This is the field. Just do whatever you want to do." I learned quite quickly not to go out of the bushes with the entire head. As I got hit in my head the first time. I was like, "Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Nope, not doing it again."
So the first time you played, did you have a full face cover?
No. So I
Just the
borrowed a
goggles?
helmet, a mask that goes just over my nose, and
Okay.
glasses. And I got gloves, and that's about it. A vest. I borrowed a vest that was too big for me. Everything was too big on me. So I was just running around looking like a child. Just everything too big. I had pants that were too big as well.
Oh, that's funny.
I must have looked ridiculous.
Well, I've taught every woman airsofter I've talked to on here. They said the same thing. Like when they started, they couldn't find the right pants. That it was just, and a lot of them. There's not really a whole lot of like airsoft or whatever kind of gear built for women. So the pants don't
No.
fit right. Um, and I said, well, what if you wore like yoga pants or whatever? And they're like, oh, that would hurt.
No, because I was thinking about it one time. Because I have these yoga pants that have like camo print on them. I was like, well,
Hmm.
they could work. I got hit by a friend joking around. I was like, nope, never again. That just yoga pants would rip so fast when you go down on the floor, and when you go through the bushes or anything, and we don't have that amount of money to just change them every weekend.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, that
I
would.
currently wear Slovenian army uniform that I got from my mate that was in the army. She is maybe 2, 3 sizes bigger than me,
Yeah.
but elastics on the upper part and shorten them, and they're fine, for the airsoft. But as vests go, yeah, it's really hard to find a vest that fits. The one I have, it fits me everywhere, but it's too long.
Oh.
It's like almost down to half of my ass,
Oh my
and
gosh.
it's really hard to get one that you could put a lot of things on, and it
Right.
fits. Because if you get some basic plate carrier, that you could put some things on, and it would fit. It wouldn't be too long, but then you couldn't carry anything around on it
Uh.
because it would be too small. Just the small ones.
Right.
That helmets, those are living nightmare because I have a small head, so wearing a hat like this is the best option. And glasses as well. I have like 3 pairs of glasses. and they're all too wide.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're all too wide. I put them underneath the hat, so it fits like underneath, so the hat puts it together,
Right.
so they don't fall off. It's
Well,
yeah. I think that a lot of women have the same struggle.
for sure. Every single woman I've talked to on here has had the same issue. In fact, the first girl I talked to on here was Englefield Echo is her YouTube channel, and that's her Instagram name as well. So when I was talking to her, she was telling me about those same issues, and I can't remember if we did it on the podcast. If I shared the screen, we went through. If I brought up the picture she was talking about, but she said I have a picture of me the first time I went to play. My pants are too big. She said I had these goggles that had a strap on them that were like full seal goggles, and they were like this wide on her face. And I showed the picture in the podcast, and I mean, it was. She was like, I looked so ridiculous.
Yeah, I have my helmet. I think still. I can. I have it here. I just throw everything on the ground, but I have my helmet. Okay, and just to make a comparison, how big it is on my head.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, I can put my entire head in here,
Oh my gosh. Yep.
and it's the smallest one we could get. I
It's
mean,
funny.
obviously, I can. It has the system to
Right.
to make it smaller, but it's still too big. So I have foam in it to make it fit better.
So even when you tighten that all the way up, it's still that loose.
It still wiggles a bit, yeah. So I have
Jeez.
foam. I have foam on all sides around,
Hmm.
and it's still too big.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always been from what I'm hearing, that is a huge issue for women that play airsoft. And it's I feel like there's a lot of females starting to get into airsoft, like a lot more in the last couple of years. And from what I've seen and heard people talk about, I feel like why aren't there better options for for plate carriers, like build the stuff you wear on your chest that should be formed for women, instead of flat, where it doesn't fit right, or it's uncomfortable. And then the pants is a big issue. So obviously helmets.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think that pants aren't as much of a problem just because you have men's sizes that are quite small. They go down to extra small, and I guess we can work around with that. But
Yeah.
yeah, plate carriers are the biggest issue. Just because I get it, we're small, and you have to make a small plate carrier, but still make it so that you can put all the things you need on the field.
Right.
Um, all the pockets, everything, um, all the details and everything. Because the one that I have right now, I can put things on the side, which
Yeah.
is great. But obviously, then you have to. It's awkward to move around when you have things like underneath here, and you have to
Yep.
move like this. But at least I can put things on it. Because the one I had previously was I put like 3 magazines and what else, and obviously communication. It was full. It was quite bad.
Right.
Because when you go out in the field, you need much more than just 3 magazines and communication,
Right.
especially if you're the medic or anything like that.
Yeah. So do you play, when you play, do you play mostly, you play outdoor, right?
Mostly, yeah.
Like skirmishes and like, what do you guys call your gameplay over there? Like mil sims? What do you call them?
So it depends on what type of game is going to be played. So if you have something that is going to be, mil sim as it is, so simulating army and actual war or anything like that, or just like tactics in general, then it's yeah mil sim. Um, Otherwise, we don't have like a special name for other games. Obviously, CQB is just CQB,
Yeah.
and then most of the time we play out in the woods.
Right.
Just because Slovenia is a country that is quite green. We have a lot of woods, and that's where we play most of our games. we have a big problem getting any CQB places or just indoor
Mm,
places to play, just because we don't have um, many abandoned factories or anything like that. We
gotcha.
used to have a hotel that was abandoned, but somebody bought it and they're gonna probably tore it down or something. I don't know, but
Yeah.
that was an awesome place. And we did have another abandoned hotel that was a bit smaller, but it was in the middle of nowhere. You know, the nearest thing to that hotel was a bear. It was in the middle of nowhere. It took you like an hour to drive there. Um, but somebody bought it as well. And the last time we got there, it was a funniest story. So we had fight organized on that location. We get there. We had people coming from all over Slovenia to that specific place. So it
Hmm.
took them like 2 hours, 3 hours drive to that place. We get there, and some local, I'm guessing some local farmer, decided to put his bulls in there, and he put like a fence around it. And it was like
Oh,
over 20 bulls in there, and we get there early in the morning, and we didn't know. A day before, somebody checked if everything's gonna be fine to play there. Everything was fine, and in the morning there was bulls.
oh my God.
So there's nothing we could have done. We just turned around and went to the other location.
Oh my God. That
Yeah,
sucks.
it's like big time.
Oh my
If it
God.
was cows, it would be fine, but bulls.
Right. No, there's no, like, you're not going to move those guys. Uh-uh.
They were quite scared of us.
Yeah.
Um, I tried to pet them as one does, and they ran away.
Well, you would. You look a little edgy, all right? You're like, hey, I'm going to push the limit, right?
Depends, but most of the time, yeah. I like to push limits. Just because, if you don't try, you're never gonna know.
No, I
You have
love
to
it. I
know.
think it's great. Well, I think that's why, most women I've talked to on here that play airsoft, they're a little bit more that way, right? Their personality type. They like a challenge. They like to go, 1,000% into something. So, and once they found airsoft, they're like, "Yep, that's it." So, looking at your Instagram and that, uh, you have some cool tattoos, by the way.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, and and then some of the recent posts you had. I don't know if it's for Halloween or you dress like you have some costumes. It looks really cool. It looks really cool.
Thank
In
you. Oh, it's
fact,
a group costume.
do you mind if I share the screen and bring
No,
a
go
couple of
ahead.
those
Go
pictures?
ahead.
Okay. Yeah, let me bring
Yeah, it
up.
was. So the photo you're talking about, I'm guessing the one that I was in the white sheep fur. It was a Halloween. We had a group costume with my best mates, and I was a northern shaman. That's
Ah,
that's
okay.
that's why all the makeup, just Viking related.
Did did it come up for
Yeah,
you? Do you see it?
yeah, I
Okay.
see it.
Yeah, so that's the one you're talking about, right?
That's the one. We had. Oh, I should have posted the one with my mates, but it's three girls trying to take a photo. We took hundreds of them. Not a single one we all liked. So yeah.
Even this one, you didn't like this one?
No, I like this one. It's just
Okay.
the one that is all three of us.
Oh, I gotcha.
Um,
Right.
yeah,
Not everyone agreed on it.
on the photo, yeah. But
Yeah.
it was for Halloween this one, and we had quite a lot of we got quite a lot of compliments that day on our costumes.
I'm sure. So this is so who did your face makeup? Who painted that stuff on
Myself,
you?
I did it myself.
What?
And the face tattoo that I have on this photo is a printed out tattoo that I got by my coworker actually, and I still have them. I still have them. So it's can you see? I think you can
Oh
see.
yeah.
So you just print out and then you just put some water in it and you just put it on your face,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
it stayed the entire night.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then you
So
you painted all that black under your eyes and
Yeah, I mean that's the easiest thing. You just put it on. You don't look how you put it on. You just put it on however you feel like it, and it's great.
That is
Just
cool.
yeah, and
Okay.
then I have this cheap fur that I actually put together. So I tied it down in front with a shoelace because I didn't have anything else. It was a last moment costume.
What? The that's a sheet?
That's cheap. It's cheap wannabe. It's
Oh,
fake.
oh.
It's not actual fur,
Okay.
but it's a cheap wannabe.
Right, right.
Um, and then yeah,
It
that's
looks
that's
cool.
the yeah. Thank you.
Hell yeah. All right. Now this other one, let's see. There was another one. Yeah, see this one here.
Yeah, that one was just me being me, staying at home, just
That's cool.
cosplaying.
Yeah, you I was gonna say, do you like to do like cosplay kind of stuff?
I do. I do love cosplay. I just don't have much time for it. It takes a lot of time to cosplay. It takes a lot of time to make all of the costumes, to figure out what you want, how you want it, to do the makeup and everything.
Right.
So I do love to do it. I wish I had more time.
I hear you. All right, what about this one? I was curious why you're crawling through the mud.
It was on this festival. It's called Castle Festival. We have it here in Slovenia, and they had foam party out on the grass. And as you can imagine, what happens when you have a lot of foam and grass underneath, it was all muddy. And hour after, just dancing in that mud, it was catastrophic. I think it was 2 days later that I still had mud in my hair.
Oh my gosh.
And I was swimming. So nearby here, maybe like 20 meters away from where the foam party was, there's this
Yeah.
river. And we were all swimming in the river. And, my friends were trying to get all the mud out of my hair. But
Oh my
it
gosh.
was a no-go. When I got home 2 days later, when the festival ended and I took a shower, mud was just dripping out of my hair.
Oh my god, that's funny.
It was amazing. It's a good festival.
Yeah. That sounds cool. So do they do that
Yeah.
every year?
It's every year, beginning of August. It's Castle Festival, and the week before you have Metal Days. We have them in Tomin. This next year it's gonna be Terminator instead of it. On the same location, and
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's Slovenia has like festivals during the summer. Like every week you have at least one festival going on somewhere in Slovenia, and you
Oh,
have
that's
a lot
cool.
of people coming from like all over the Europe to party because the alcohol is quite cheap compared to a lot of other countries.
Yes. I need to come out there then. All right.
Definitely do. I'll take you out on one of the airsoft matches. We can play to see how it works here, how the game works here in Slovenia.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah. So do you guys, so I'm guessing, I would guess that the rules are fairly the same, right? You guys have like jewel limits or FPS limits and that kind of thing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on smaller events, we go by joules, and it goes. Um, it usually is 1.5 joules on most of the events, just for the rifles, and then it goes up to 1.1 on pistols,
Mm.
and then it's the same when you play outside or CQB usually on the smaller events or just like regular trainings. Um, it goes. Snipers are I think 2.4 or something like that. Don't hold my word for it. Um, I'm really bad with it. Just because I don't play it, I don't really care much about it.
Right.
I'm not a sniper. My
What
hand shakes too much.
what do you run? What do you play? Like rifleman?
I have rifle. Yeah, I'm a rifleman. Usually, I do have my AR-15 at the moment. Um, it's it was something that I wanted even before I started playing airsoft. It was one of my favorite rifles. I always wanted to have a black and pink one.
Oh, nice.
Um, but it doesn't work when you're playing out in the woods, just because the
No.
pink will get noticed way too fast.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
You're just like, oh, there it is.
yeah, I have red hair, so that gives me away way too many times already.
I was gonna say, do you tuck it? Do you like tie it up or whatever and tuck it behind your helmet a little bit?
I usually since I've started playing with this hat, I just put it in two ponytails
Okay.
downside, and then
Yeah.
just put it underneath the jacket.
Right.
Try to hide it, or if I have a ponytail back on the head, I try to put it underneath as well. It doesn't help. It
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
help.
Especially when
Um,
it's sunny out. It probably the sun hits it and it's just like, beaming.
yeah, it shines really brightly, especially when when I'm fresh out of the hairstyle saloon. I just become like a living lava walking thingy.
Well, it's very
But yeah,
pretty.
what?
Yeah, I said it's very pretty, but yeah, it's probably
Yeah,
a big
thank you.
target when you're out playing airsoft.
Yeah, my mate, she has blonde hair, and she is also really visible when playing outside,
Hmm.
especially when it's sunny.
Right.
Um, she has like this bright, like white blonde hair, and it's you have her on one of the photos as well. We're posing
Oh
together,
yeah. Hmm.
and she's also quite visible. I think the only thing that would save us is black and brown.
Yep.
We can't be that boring. I had black hair before, and I just felt like something was missing. Just
Yeah.
needed something more. And I tried blonde hair, and it just didn't fit me. So red is.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, they have these like I don't know what they are. Like I don't know any terminology for this kind of stuff, but I've seen women with these like wraps or bun kind of things. Like if you put your hair, it's almost like a just like a little bag, like a little cloth kind of thing with
Yeah,
elastic, really tight, and they stuff their hair in it and it just hangs on the back. Um
I've never seen that.
yeah, I don't know, but I don't know what it is or what it's used for or
It's. I guess I can imagine what you're talking about, but I've never seen anyone have it.
yeah.
Not here in Europe anyway. And I can only imagine how fast it would fall off when I would be running around.
I'm sure.
It's yeah, but I guess if it works for some, then that's great.
Now, how did you start into airsoft?
That's a funny story. The guy that I was talking to, he invited me out, kind of like a first date.
Yeah.
And we went to this airsoft match down south in Slovenia. So he was like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna have everything set for you. You just have to get there." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I love guns before. I had air rifle before,
Oh yeah.
so I knew how to shoot. I was like, cool, yeah, I'm down for it." I get there, he puts like the helmet on me. I was obviously too big. He puts the gloves on me, the glasses and everything. We started playing, and the first shot that was shot on that day hit me right between the helmet and the glasses, my
Oh
forehead.
my God.
And I just yelled out. I was like, "Fuck! I'm sorry if that was." I was like, I just yeah, and everyone started laughing. Because I think I was the only girl there as well, so everyone started laughing at me.
Oh shit.
Um, and I'm pretty sure at that moment he thought, "Oh no, I effed up. She's never gonna talk to me again." But uh, I had quite a lot of fun that day. We played for a couple of hours, got home, and the next weekend I went on another airsoft match by myself,
Oh shit.
and that's how I started. And I just um
So
kind of
you liked it enough to go back by yourself.
yeah, I definitely did. I met a lot of amazing people playing this sport. I met a lot of people from other countries as well, and
Right.
it's I think like a big family all over the world. So just people playing airsoft. There's not a lot of us, but those that are in this sport are, as far as I've met them, amazing people.
Right. Yeah, everyone I've talked to on here has been great.
You're great as well. So
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is
it's
the community, airsoft community, no matter whoever I've talked with uh around the world is really like the same kind of, respectful. Uh, they like to welcome new players. They want more players, right? I mean, you want more players on the field. You want more targets to shoot at. It's more fun. When you go to an airsoft, like a field, and you show up early and there's only like five people there, that sucks.
yeah,
you know?
it, we start to wonder if there's gonna be even something worth putting the gear on.
Hmm. Right.
It's if it
So
does not a lot of people.
I played paintball, and it would be the same thing if we went to a field, and we
Yeah,
show up, and me and four of my friends, and there's nobody else there, and it's a giant field, in the woods. Like, oh, we got to wait for people to show up.
it's yeah. You have to have at least depends on the field, but at least 5 people in each team to
Right.
to to have the smallest amount of fun playing that day. I think the best matches are the ones that have at least 50 people on the team, and everyone goes. You kind of forget that the outside world exists at the time
Yeah.
when you're out playing. My internet keep freezing. But yeah, it's
When you go to play, do you go when you guys go, like, you go on the weekends, and then do you have the field you go to? Is there a lot of people that show up?
so we usually go play on Sundays. That's when most of our matches or trainings and everything happen. We well depends. If you go on some smaller fields, there's usually between 40 to 60 people playing each weekend. When you go to like some organized events, we had one bigger one happen maybe a month, 2 months ago. There
Yeah.
was over 100 people showed up, just Slovenians. Um, so, because
That's a lot.
Slovenia is quite small, yeah, it is a lot compared to the fact that it's only 2 million of people living in this country.
Right.
Um, and we kind of all know each other by now. Um, but when you go outside of Slovenia to some bigger events in maybe Croatia or Hungary, you have like 400 people show up
Oh, wow.
from different countries altogether, and those are the bigger events going on. And I've never been to one. Definitely want to go one day.
Okay. Yeah.
And they usually also last like at least 24 hours, if not longer.
Right.
And that's something that I do want to experience at one point in my life.
Yeah, so that's what a lot of the guys here, a lot of people, they'll go to the 3 day, they'll call them like a 3 day mil sim here in
Yeah.
America, and they have a lot of those or those kind of events here in America throughout, whether it's in California or here in South Carolina, or all over the country, and they'll have so the 3 days are really popular. And they're not really full 3 days. They'll do a game Friday night, so people get there Friday night, and then they'll do so many hours Friday night, and then they'll start back Saturday morning, play all day, and then they'll have a nighttime part on Saturday, and then they'll end it at like midnight, and then they'll start back on Sunday morning and play till like 2 in the afternoon. So it's a lot. It's a lot of gameplay time. And then they have the ones that are the continuous one, like you're talking about, like straight 24 hours. Or there's a company out here called Milsim West. I'm not sure
Okay.
if you've heard of it, but they do a
No.
40 hour. Yeah, they do a 40 hour nonstop. And Milsim West is known for their realistic style of events. So it is they do a lot of things in the event where to make it more immersive, like more like you're in war at the during that time. And so they'll have like these loudspeakers and stuff throughout the night where they'll play uh like really loud music so that people can't sleep. They'll play like noises of babies crying and like war sounds, you know what I mean? Like to make it more to feel like you're in this battlefield, you know?
That is a good idea actually. I've never had any event happen with something like just a huge surround system with noises playing
Yeah.
to make it more realistic. It's a good idea. Might use it. Thank you.
Well, they also do so this they'll these event coordinators will do this they'll use a propane cannon, and so it makes a loud boom noise, like it sounds like artillery. So it'll sound like
Oh,
a mortar getting launched and explosions. Um, and then they have these events have helicopters as well. So they'll have a helicopter, which I'm sure you've seen if you watched airsoft videos. So one of the fields we've gone to here in South Carolina is called GTI. Airsoft Alphonse is a big YouTube channel. He always goes on the helicopter, and he's at the he'll play at that field and here in South Carolina. And so he has a machine gun, like an LMG, and he'll
yeah.
be up there shooting down from the helicopter. And you can see his videos where he's, on the helicopter flying around. But anyway, that's a separate part of the like it's an extra ticket for the event. You can ride the helicopter, and so it's really cool. Like they put all this kind of stuff in there where there's vehicles, they'll have people will bring their own vehicles for technicals and with machine guns mounted on them. And it's pretty wild. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
How much does just the tickets to ride a helicopter cost?
The ticket for the helicopter, I can't remember. I've never been on it, but I think it's around $100 extra. It might be a little more, but the ticket for the event for like a 3-day milsim is anywhere from like 150 to $200 or $250, depending on where the event is. So one
That's a
event they
lot.
had, yeah, one event they had a few months ago was an event called Serious Viking, and it was in Georgia, and it was on the AO where they had it at was oh, I can't remember the name of the place, but it was 88 acres, so almost 100 acres, very very big. It had 55 buildings, abandoned buildings on the
That's
AO.
a village.
I mean, that's fucking huge, okay?
Yeah, it's something that we're lacking here in Slovenia, definitely. Something that we want to have, looking to have, but it's I'm guessing not going to happen at least in the next 10 years.
Yeah. Well, where you're at, I guess it wouldn't. Trying to think where around you guys has big events like that.
Okay, we have
Um,
one in Croatia and one in Hungary. So in
okay.
Hungary, they have a 5-day event that just keeps going on.
5 days?
5 days of Milsim,
Oh my
no rest.
God.
And then in Croatia, you have oh my gosh, I forgot the name. But it's also like I think entire weekend event, and they take you down to an island, and it's just the entire island is dedicated to airsoft.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's the one that I think I hope that I'm gonna go to next year.
Okay.
So definitely, my mates from the club went to the Hungary one this year.
Yeah.
I think is it 5 days or if not even longer. They not lasted. They decided to only go for a couple of days because you can come and go whenever you want to.
Gotcha.
So you can join them on the first day or the second day or just for the last day, and when you go when you want to go, and it's the stories are really fun,
I'm
but
sure.
I don't think it's something that I would be able to do for like 4 days combined. It's
That's a lot.
not having the personal hygiene of proper food. It will kill me. Because
Hey,
definitely
look,
eating those
we saw your muddy picture. You can just wash in the river, okay?
if there's a river nearby, yeah, definitely. But no, it's yeah, you have to be prepared differently. You have to be prepared mentally for something like that as well. It's not just something that you decide over the night. Oh, I'm gonna start doing this and
Right.
go play milsim for 2 days, um,
No,
without being
that's
mentally prepared and knowing how to basically survive those
right.
days
Well,
on
see, a lot of
your
people, these mills like military simulation stuff like that, that it's this long, or like the one I was talking about with Milsim West, 40-hour continuous. A lot of people they get really interested in airsoft. They see that and they're like, you know what? I'm in pretty decent shape. I could go to that and do that. What they don't realize is, in military, we go through a lot of training before we actually do the training. You know what I mean? Like boot camp, we, is very physical. At least, like I was in the Marine Corps. So the Marines, it's very physical. So it's a lot of running, a lot of physical exercise, for those 3 months. And so, and it's nonstop. I mean, it's every day, every day, every day. Uh, and then you go out, right? And in the woods for 30 days straight, right? So you're kind of conditioned. You're already hardened. You're already used to being uncomfortable. So a lot of these guys get into airsoft and they go, yeah, I could do 40 hours. I could do 3 days, right? In the woods. And they've never really left this from their, like playing games and, that kind of thing. And
uh,
they put all this gear on and they're like, oh shit, my feet hurt. I have blisters, because you had brand new boots, right? That you're walking in, or your feet got wet while you're out there. Like, and they don't think about, hey, you're in the woods for 2 days. Oh, where do I take a shit? Oh, I don't know. In the woods.
yeah, definitely. And I think it's easier for the guys when it comes to taking the first and the second one.
Yeah.
I mean, because girls, we have to. You can go anywhere. You just find the nearest tree and you stand behind it and you're
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
I was just having this conversation with this girl playing airsoft. She's from UK.
Yeah.
I think her tech name is Caterpillar.
Okay.
And we're just talking about airsoft in Slovenia, airsoft in UK, the difference. And I think one thing that we all have in common all over the world is we need more toilets on the fields. That's how it goes. You guys can handle it, but when we have to go, you have to find a spot, and especially just because there's a few girls playing airsoft, and then you have a lot of guys, and so if you want to have your privacy, you have to find a place outside of the field
Yep.
that you can do your thing
Right.
without, first of all, being seen by other players, just
Sure.
because most of them are guys, obviously,
Yep.
and then also to have a privacy just in general, and also you have to have your some toilet paper or something with you to wipe,
Right.
and it's different for guys. You have a lot of less things to care about when you go
Right.
outside.
Well, for sure. And then not only that, but you when girls have to go, when you have to take a piss, uh, there's more exposed. So your whole ass is exposed. And if you're not off the playing field, you might get shot in the ass. Like that's not going to feel good. Um,
Absolutely not. And it's also
so
because we have to take most of our gear off
yeah.
if we want to. It's not just putting pants down. Sometimes it's also putting all the vest and everything.
Yep.
You guys, you throw your rifle back and you do your thing. And with
Yeah.
us, you have to put the rifle down, you have to take the vest off, you
Yep.
have to take your pants off. And during winter, it's you have to take all of the layers off as well. And you have to put it back on as well. And it's cold hands.
Oh, for real. I was talking about that with somebody about how, I can handle the heat way better than the cold because, yeah, you're uncomfortable when it's hot, you're sweaty, it's uncomfortable, but at least you can use your hands. In the cold, your hands get cold enough, you can't do your zippers, your buttons, look, if you got to take a piss really bad and you've got like the camis on that have the buttons for the, in front of the pants, and you have a
Yeah.
belt, try to get that thing undone quick enough to where you're not pissing yourself. You know what I mean? Like it's extremely difficult. But
Yeah.
listen, I got a solution for all you women. Okay, wear the
Okay.
diapers. Wear the diapers.
I think I'm speaking for all of us. That when I say that, we'd rather just have our asses exposed and maybe shot, or rather that than wearing a diaper.
Oh,
We're
I
gonna
hear
have
you.
diaper when we're gonna be old.
There's right. Yeah, hell with
Just
that shit.
Yeah, it's another thing that it's not talked about in any of sports at all. It's something that I always wondered how women in some sports handle is having a period.
Oh yeah,
It's
right.
the nastiest thing to talk about, I know, but I've always wondered, for example, how girls do it in swimming or gymnastics.
Sure.
Somewhere where a lot of the body is exposed as well, or swimming
Hmm.
when you have to go into water. It's something that we have to deal with in sports, and yeah, we have to do it the same as if we didn't have those issues.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of my friends. I've heard a lot of men in general say to girls when out on field, like, "Oh, you're up here playing and you're on your period. Like, how do you do it?"
Yeah.
It's like we get used to it. It takes um some other preparations, but it's
Sure.
definitely also one of the reasons why girls don't decide for sports like this in general, just
Yeah.
because all of the difficulties that comes with being a girl
Right.
and being outdoor for half of the day,
Yep.
and also maybe guys are more used to being down and dirty. Yeah, so as you were saying before, when people join the sport and go, well, I can do 3 days of mule sim, no problem, and they've never slept in a tent,
Right.
they've never, gone up for a hike longer than 2 hours max,
Uh-huh.
and then they realize actually that it's not something that is easy. It's not an easy sport. It might look like an easy sport, but running around full gear all day, it takes a lot of energy.
Absolutely. And those are good points you bring up too. Like when you have, so for, if you girls are out there playing all day and you got to take a piss, like you said, it's not as simple as just, uh, oh, just quickly pull your pants down and go, right? Just find somewhere hidden and go. It's like you got to take all your stuff off because you can't squat down with your gear, like your chest rig and all the magazines and all your shit and your pistol. If you're
Yeah.
carrying one, like all that shit has to come off. Guys, we have a built-in hose. We can just, stand and just point it wherever. So
Yeah.
it's super easy. Uh, yeah, those are real. I mean, those are real issues. Yeah, you're right. Nobody talks about it. And I
Nobody
think,
talks about it
yeah, I
because we
mean,
got
it's a
used to
lot.
it.
Well, we're not, this is kind of what I'd wanted this venue to be, this podcast, is talking with all airsofters around the world, getting their stories. It's very open. Like we can talk however we want. I don't care if somebody says cuss words. I don't care about that. I just, I cuss a lot. It's no big deal. But talking about the topics that most people don't talk about. And if it's part of somebody's story, uh, in their journey, I guess, whatever, playing airsoft, then I don't mind that. I get a lot of questions when when I ask people to be on here. about, well, do you have a format? Do you have a, can we say this? Can we say that? I said, I don't have any restrictions. And I don't have a format on purpose because I want this to be a kind of a casual conversation about your background, how you grew up, how you got to where you're at now into airsoft. And I love hearing people's stories about that, and I think it's really cool. So along the way, there's some of these things, some of these issues that come up. These are real things. So when I first started hearing about, with the female airsofters I talked with, about how the helmet, all the gear, like there's no gear for women, geared for that or set up for that. That's difficult. But yeah, being on the field, hey, if it's your time of the month, I mean, I grew up with two sisters. Um,
We're
so,
used to it.
oh yeah, so I was used to it. And in fact, my younger sister, the day she started her period, we were at a swimming place. We were at a swimming pool, a public swimming
Okay.
pool. Yeah, and she was like 11 years old, and I'm 4 years older than her, and so it was just me and her there. And we get out of the pool, and we start walking back to like get our towels and stuff, and she starts crying, and she's looking down at her legs, and she goes, and I said, "What's wrong?" And there was I knew what was going on because I knew, about it because of my older sister. And, and so I just, there was some friends there, and I had her wrap her towel around her, and, took her to one of our friends, a girl, and had her take her to the bathroom and get fixed up, but it was really scary for her because she was embarrassed. So and then my wife and I have five kids, and two of them, we have two girls. So obviously that is, something that we're used to and taught them about, so that they didn't get freaked out when it happens. So this is something that y'all women have to deal with if you're going to play airsoft for 8 or 10 hours. So
Definitely.
yeah, for sure. I don't know an easy solution because to put the bathroom stuff, like maybe they've got a lot of options. They do have a lot of options out there now for portable bathrooms. Like I've seen these ones that they use like a 5 gallon bucket, and they have it looks kind of like it's something that you can buy online, where it has a toilet seat on it built onto it, and it has like a trash bag kind of system inside there.
I
And
actually
then,
sell them. So
huh?
I sell them, but it's just not something you would bring out on the field with,
Mm-mm.
because it takes a lot of space. It's not easy to carry. It's just easier to go out in the nature.
Oh, for sure. Well, I was thinking maybe the field would set those up throughout, somewhere.
Definitely, if the field is owned by somebody, or if it's like some place that you play out regularly, definitely something that would be a nice thing from the owners, or the
Right.
organizers to do. But here, I mean, here in Slovenia, a lot of places that we play are just out in the woods, so it's not
Yep.
something that you could do just because all of the woods here are owned by somebody.
Right.
I mean, like, imagine going on a night walk through your own wood and then just randomly seeing a toilet. you know,
Oh, that'd be
it,
funny.
that would be funny. It would be confusing for the owner.
I'm sure.
So it's not something. We were playing on this field a couple of months ago, and nearby the field there was this hotel. And so I went to ask the receptionist of the hotel, like, can I use your toilet, please? And she looked at me and she was like, those boys, they never think of you girls. How do you even survive? She felt
Oh,
so bad for us. She let us use the toilet the entire day. So that was quite nice.
oh, that's cool. Now, let me ask you
Yeah,
this. Have you ever been playing and you had to pee so bad and you didn't want to take all your gear off and you said, fuck it, I'm just going to piss my pants?
no, no. I I did I did learn how to take a piss wearing all of the shit on me, just taking the pants off, and you just have to find the nearest tree and hold yourself. You hold for your dear life when you squat down because you can't squat down properly in all the gear.
Oh, so you're
Um,
leaning back. Right.
You're leaning back. It's like when you
Okay.
go to the public toilet and the doors don't lock, and you fall down onto the. Yeah,
I gotcha.
it's but we learned. I think as girls in general, we just learned how to deal with it.
Sure.
So it's not as bad as I made it sound right now. We learned how to deal with it.
Oh yeah, it's not.
It
I
would be
mean,
easier. It could be easier, but it is
right.
what it is. You accept it. You accept it all when you go to this sport. So
Yep.
it's
I mean, we had, when we went, in the military, we had, once we were in training and we had female Marines with us and they had to deal with the same thing. So we're out there for 30 days. So they got to take care of themselves. Like that's just part of it. So, hey,
it's
they,
it's even harder
they
for
learn.
them
Yeah.
because we when you go out playing airsoft, it's you can at any time decide to take a break and leave the actual field. Whereas when you in Marine Corps, you were on duty, and the
Yeah.
girls just couldn't just walk away. So
Nope.
uh, I can't even imagine how that must have been for them.
Oh, listen, we all felt bad for him. Like, I'm glad I'm not having a period. Okay.
It's not just that, so it's just taking a piece as well, because
Yeah.
I don't know how Army, Marines, Navy, or anything works in USA, but I know that here in Slovenia, it's definitely out on patrol and everything. It's the same as being, play when you go out playing airsoft, having milk team. The guys always have it easier.
Oh, sure.
So yeah, I think that
Well,
every single girl that has gone through army or navy or anything like marine, it's hats off. Honestly, just hats off. Because I couldn't have done it. I know myself, never.
well, you're out there. It looks like on your Instagram and with talking with you, you're definitely enjoying being out there, shooting and running and gunning and all that good stuff.
That is true, and I enjoyed the company as well. I've met here in Slovenia. I've met so many amazing people from different clubs. We became really good friends in the past year. And there are just some people that I don't think I could imagine my life without them anymore. It's a great community, and it's always just a blast. It's at the end of the day, it's not always just about shooting people. It's also about having fun with them as well.
Right.
And I think this sport is one of those sports that you can find people of same interests, and we're all just out there to have fun, to enjoy ourselves, to relax after all, after the entire week of working, and
Yep.
just taking a day off basically, and relieving stress by shooting people without you know
No kidding, right? Without getting in
yeah,
trouble.
without getting in trouble. It's something I always joke about. Yeah, definitely. But yeah,
Yeah.
just the
Well, let
entire
me.
community,
Yeah,
amazing.
I'm curious about your tattoos. So, what are the ones you have on your arms there?
So this one's okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna be able to see them.
Yep.
So these ones are ravens, or Odin ravens.
Okay.
Odin had two ravens that he sent out um, to seek knowledge, and they came back telling him stories, telling him new things. And to me, they're always paired together, and to me, just something that represents always going on, always trying to um, expand knowledge.
Right.
The more you know, the more
Yeah.
you can get easier through life. And I think learning makes you um, happier. I think at least when you learn something, when you learn about new cultures, um, just basically anything. It makes it easier for you to talk to other people as well, and
Yeah, I
you know,
agree.
be more open-minded as well. And then the
Yeah,
next one
that's
I have
yeah, go ahead.
is this one is from Harry Potter.
Oh, okay.
And then when you said you like warm weather, I'm the opposite of you. I like snow.
Oh, yep.
I'm more of a winter person myself. And yeah, I have a couple of more, but no, not appropriate to show them right now.
Well, the one, so those look awesome. And then there's one on your leg that is the Snow White, right?
Yeah, I have Snow White on my left leg, on my thigh, and then I have a on my ankle. I have a heart, and then I have a rose with an anchor. Then on the back of the leg, I have a teddy bear that I got done together with my best friend. What else? On my stomach, I have little paws that represent my pets up to the point when I got the tattoo done.
Okay.
Um, then on my neck, I have Valknut, and then I have runes on my chest as well. I think
Okay.
that's about it. I
That's a
think that's
lot.
it. Yeah. I have all combined. I have 12 tattoos, 11
Okay.
tattoos. Depends on how you count them. Yeah.
Gotcha. Are you
I have
planning on
more
getting
plans.
more?
Definitely.
Oh,
I used
shit.
to have a tradition of buying myself a tattoo for my birthday, so it was a gift from me to me.
Oh, nice.
I started when I was 16, and I just kept doing it.
Yeah.
So
My youngest daughter, she's 21. She is her and her husband. That's all they do. They go to rock concerts, like metal. They go to metal concerts and get tattoos. And I think they each have like 12, or they probably have as many as you right now. And they're planning on getting more and getting more and getting more. So
that's
yeah.
amazing. She's living her best life.
Oh, she loves it. She loves it. We went to a metal. I love metal, rock and metal. So my wife and I went to a metal concert with them just a couple months ago. So great time. It was a great time. Oh yeah.
What band?
It was Ice Nine Kills, Black Veil Brides, and Motionless in White.
Nice.
Yeah. And
Oh,
then a while ago, we went to last summer, or just a few months ago, we went to Megadeth and Trivium. I don't know if have you heard of Trivium?
no, never heard of them, but I love
Okay.
Megadeth.
Yeah, Megadeth. Yeah, so yep, it's fun.
Yeah, I just bought tickets for Iron Maiden next year.
Oh,
Can't wait.
I love Iron Maiden. Yes.
It's gonna be so the European tour starts in Slovenia, um, and it's gonna be like 10 minutes walk away from where I live, so I can't wait.
Oh my gosh, that's nice. Hell
Yeah,
yeah. So
I
you can
I
go
don't even
drink
have
and
to buy the
party and
tickets. Yeah, I could stay outside my place and just listen to the music. It's gonna be so close.
all right.
But yeah, you can drink definitely and then walk home.
Yeah, it is nice going, these concerts. I was talking with somebody not long ago when we were talking about going to right, like rock concerts, whatever, and I was like, what's so cool is concerts are fun. Um, it's like everyone's there. They want to be there. They're really into, they're really into the bands, the music, and they're excited about being there, blah, all this kind of stuff, whatever. And he goes, yeah, like Airsoft. And I was like, yeah, no shit. It really is. Because the group, when we go to these metal concerts, most people on the outside that don't go to these metal concerts, they think that people that are there have all these tattoos and mohawks and crazy kind of, they look kind of wild and edgy and, crazy. They think, oh, they're kind of scary, and then you go there and like they're the nicest fucking people ever. And
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, so it is fun.
I think that, just people in sports or just in subcultures that look edgy are usually the nicest people out there.
Hmm.
It's I think that in metal community, it's like the people are always, gonna look after each other and just be kind to each other, and that's the biggest teddy bears usually. Whereas, when you go to some other, more basic, basic cultures, you have people that just gonna be always finding something bad about everything.
Right.
And airsoft is one of the sports that is like, I think like as far as I know, like a lot of people playing airsoft actually do listen to metal music. It's like it goes one with another, at least here.
Uh-huh.
Or maybe I'm just surrounded by people like that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, no, I think that is. It's a lot of people I've talked with are definitely into the metal or heavier music.
yeah, definitely. I don't know. It goes together. Definitely, it's one of those things. So yeah.
Hell yeah. So, what do you have planned for the rest of the year? Do you guys play airsoft when it's like in the snow when it's really cold?
Yeah, we do. We just had events. Like it was like 2 weeks ago, I think, and
Yeah.
I was not prepared for snow. I got there. Okay, I didn't have enough clothes with me. I didn't have extra clothes with me either, because for some reason, um, so my shoes got wet in the first 5 minutes.
Oh shit.
Like as soon as I got out of the car, I stepped on snow and I was like, okay. So I have a new pool in my shoes. And
Oh.
then as we started playing, it was maybe an hour in. My gloves were wet. I had like my pants were soaked because I fell in snow. So like I think I was playing for an hour and a half, and I was just like, nope, I'm freezing. I started shaking, like my lips went purple, my fingers were purple. I was like, nope, done,
Oh
done for the
my
day.
God.
And then
Yeah.
I asked this mate from another club. I was like, please tell me you have extra socks with you. Like I can do everything else. Just give me the extra socks, please. And obviously he had like I have a small foot and he had like a bigger foot, so um the um um the heel pad came like all the way up to like above my ankle. Like I was warm, that was it. But yeah, we do play in snow. We have so this weekend we're not gonna have anything. But we have two Christmas events coming up. We have one that is going to be a big one here in Slovenia, and then just after Christmas we have one planned by our club.
Mm.
And we have it every year, and that's I think the only two events we're going to have until the new year. And then right after the new year we have I think almost every weekend booked already.
Wow. Okay.
So
Now,
snow doesn't stop.
do you guys have like is AEGs or do you guys have do you use mostly AEGs, HPAs? Like for
Um,
your pistols, do you guys use green gas like in the because they don't work well in the cold?
we have it's not something that we mostly have one thing or another. We have it's personal preference for
Okay.
each of them. um I think when it comes to guns, most people use gas bombs, so CO2, because green gas is, yeah, as you said, we have some people have it and it's always an issue. I've never
Right.
seen a person having green gas and not having problems with it. It's just the temperatures.
Yep.
But yeah, um, it's a personal preference. It's not something that you have to have one or another.
Right.
Um,
But you guys are
so
allowed to have
yeah,
HPAs and all that kind of stuff. Okay.
it's Slovenia in general. So not only just airsoft community, but Slovenia as a country in general. We don't have many laws when it comes to weapons, or replicas anyway.
Yeah.
So you're allowed to have it. It's as long as it's in the parameters of not being too strong,
Yeah.
where it would be classified as not, airsoft gun anymore.
Yeah.
Um, You're allowed to have it, and as long as it's not too strong to be played on the field, you're allowed to have it on the field as well.
Cool.
Um, as the only thing I think that in Slovenia it's starting to happen, but since airsoft guns are like really easy reachable,
Yeah.
a lot of young people buy them, and we had quite a few incidents in the past maybe 2 years, ever since COVID started, where somebody was waving a gun outside in public, or threatening somebody with a gun, and turned out to be airsoft gun.
Yeah.
So we hope that it doesn't change the way the country is right now, and we don't have any restrictions coming up soon.
Right.
Because in France, I know that they can't have. I think it's 1 joule. Doesn't matter what type of weapon you have. 1 joule if you want to be airsoft. At least I think it's the way, because anytime we order from France, it says 1 joule only.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah,
Oh,
and they have
shit.
to have like these caps on. Um,
Yeah.
and I think in USA you have the same thing. You have to have like the end of it. It had to be colored red, right?
Yeah, like orange. Yeah.
Orange, yeah. And
Uh-huh.
we don't have that in Slovenia, and I hope it stays that way.
Right.
It just
So
ruins
we
the
don't.
entire image.
So the way it works here, each state in America is different. So, but in general, the orange tip thing is only required when the manufacturer sell. When you buy, like when they sell a new gun. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So we don't have to have it. Like if you buy a gun, uh, you can swap out the orange. You can take the orange tip off or paint it like right away. So here in South Carolina, uh, we have a lot of freedoms with guns, like real guns and fake guns. So you can have real guns. Everyone has guns in South
So
Carolina.
I'm
Like
guessing you have actual guns as well.
here, I'm going to show you.
The camera doesn't freeze. Oh, that is a nice collection.
Okay, so half of those are real guns, um, and then the other half are airsoft. So yeah, those are, and that's probably so. Me and my sons, we have between all of us, we probably have 30 guns, real guns. Um, and
That's an amazing number.
yeah, we like guns. When I got out of the military, I taught all my kids and my wife and and my sisters how to shoot. And so I was like, y'all are gonna learn because it's important to know. And so we have pistols, rifles, shotguns, AK-47s, AR-15s. So yeah, it's there are guns everywhere. When we have a family get together, that all my sons have guns on their hip, like concealed carry or whatever. And so we don't really go anywhere without guns. And so when you get like even out in public here in South Carolina, it's very common to see people. If you go to the store, you'll see a lot of people, a lot of guys with guns under their shirt, so pistols, whatever. Um,
Um,
and yeah, it's it's very common.
if I would see somebody in Slovenia with like a gun tucked underneath his shirt, here is like it would immediately trigger a flight response, because it's you're not allowed to carry a weapon outside here in Slovenia.
Oh, okay.
So it's a shock when obviously America is known for weapons, and your open laws about it,
Yeah.
and it's something that here in Europe it's not as common. It's completely different. So
Right. Well, that's
it's
and I guess
interesting.
the like being here in South Carolina with that many or I guess with people being used to, most people are used to seeing that around here. So it is we don't have as much of an issue with incidents with people carrying an airsoft gun out in public or whatever. So like Halloween, um, we did. we had a Halloween party. We were at my in-laws, so my mom or my wife's parents, and we were over there, and everyone came over there. Well, I was dressed. In fact, I think I have pictures on my Instagram. I'm wearing this mask right here.
The camera froze for me.
Oh,
Ah,
okay. Can you see it? Well, let me know when you can see it.
let me just, because I think that my internet's gonna be really bad because entire family just got home.
Uh-oh. They're all taking up the internet.
They're all taking up the internet.
Well,
Ah,
you
okay,
can.
I can see it now.
Oh, you can see it. Okay, so I had.
I'll get it. It's an
Yes.
American clown.
Yeah, I was. So for Halloween, I had a airsoft gun slung over my shoulder, over my chest, a short like combat shotgun, and we were out, in public, like passing out candy or whatever, and I was dressed like that, and nobody even cares about, like they didn't think it was weird or nothing. So, and a lot of kids that, that come up, like they're dressed like they might be dressed like a cowboy and they have, two pistols on their side. And these are little kids, So it's very accepted here in South Carolina. So hopefully it stays that way. I'm always pushing for, talking with people about, hey, don't vote your gun rights away. Okay, we like those freedoms. It's good for us, and that kind of thing. So, but yeah, it's very nice to be able to transfer these airsoft guns, like for these mill sims. We just take them out wherever, walk through the our front yard, put them in a truck. Nobody cares, like nobody calls anybody. It's great. So yeah,
Yeah, here you kind of have to hide them, have them in a bag or something when you carry them out to your car, just because sooner or later somebody's gonna call cops on you if they see them. Because we had an
yeah.
incident last year. We were playing on this field, and obviously people were walking by on the other side of the fence, and somebody called the cops on us because they saw a bunch of people running around shooting each other,
Oh shit.
and they called cops, and the cops arrived, and it was like, oh, a lot of people here in Slovenia play airsoft, and they have old Slovenian military clothes on them.
Right.
So obviously the people that called the cops thought that we are a part of military.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know for what reason they called cops on us then, but cops arrived. It was like, oh, are you military? You're having a practice here. And we're like, no, we're just playing airsoft. It's fine. It's the owners let us, and it's fence all around, so it's safe. And they were like, oh, okay, because somebody called us that you're shooting each other here. That just don't have weapons out in public here in Slovenia because
Yeah.
people just do not accept them in the way that you do in America. And it's great that
Okay.
you do, because you're able to protect yourself and protect your home and protect your loved ones. Whereas
Sure.
here in Slovenia, you're left with bare hands.
Yeah. Yeah, you better know how to fight really good, but I mean, not only that, it feels cool to have a gun. You know what I mean?
It does.
It
It
really
does.
does. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It
Well,
does.
if you guys ever make it to America, if you come over here and play in South Carolina sometime, uh, you'll be you will never have to hide anything. Okay, that'd be great.
That would be great. That would be great because just hiding it takes so much effort when you could just put it in your pocket or your holster
Yeah,
and just walk away.
just sling it over your shoulder, walk down the street. It's okay.
So
Oh
I want to
yeah.
try it in the street. I think I wouldn't make it till the end of the street. The cops would show up already.
All right. Uh, yeah. Well, listen.
But
It's been really nice talking with you and great to meet you.
yeah, same. It's been amazing. Thanks for having me
For
on
sure.
your podcast,
So,
and I hope
you're
we can repeat this one day.
yeah, that'd be awesome. So your Discord handle is Skywalker, right?
Yeah.
Is that kind of like your call sign? Is that your nickname on the airsoft field?
No, it's so my nickname is Tamala,
Okay.
That's my call sign. It would translate the best to the little one,
Okay.
and it's something that I grew up with because my brother used to call me that all the time. Still
Yeah.
does. And it's something that most older siblings call, the younger siblings in
Gotcha.
Slovenia. So I just kind of grew up with it, and I was always the youngest and the smallest one, the shortest one in the group. So
Yeah.
it kind of stuck with me. And the Skywalker is just because, I love Star Wars.
Hell yes. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
where can everybody find you on online?
so for anyone trying to find me, you can find me on my Instagram. My username is Spela underline TAMALA. So that's my profile. It's open. You can add me, follow me, and I'll follow you back.
Awesome. Well, I will tag that in the description when the video comes out. And yeah, it's been great to meet you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been great talking to you, and I wish everyone that's listening a nice day and lovely holidays and Happy New Year.
Oh, thank you. You too.